Hey guys, it's Elena. Welcome back to my channel. So I have been on a mission to find pants that are more comfortable than jeans, but a little bit more formal than sweats or leggings. And I think I found them. I love how these pants turned out. I think you're gonna love them. I hope that you try making them and you can see for yourself how just comfortable and nice and versatile these are. So I'm gonna walk you through all the steps so you can do it. So here are all of the materials that I used for this project. I got about 2.5 yards of fabric. I got about 2 3/4 yards of 3/4 inch elastic. And then I also used this Simplicity pattern. I laid all the pieces out on my fabric and then I cut all of the pieces out, and that left me with 2 pant front pieces, 2 pant back pieces, 2 front yoke pocket pieces, 2 back pocket pieces, and then 1 big long waistband. To get started, I am first going with the front of my pants. So I am taking the front yoke pocket piece and lining that curve up to the pocket curve of my front pant piece. Make sure that you line it up to that pocket piece and not the long crotch piece. And then you can sew those pieces together. Once you have done that, we are going to cut a few little notches just so that we are able to flip it over and have it sit flat. We don't want anything bunching or looking all funky. So once I have clipped all my pieces, I am ironing it all flat and then flipping that piece over so that all of my right sides are out. And I'm giving that a really nice good press, pinning it, and then doing a really tight top stitch all the way along so that everything is, again, just looking really nice and sitting really flat, because that is the front of our pocket. Once we have that piece, I am folding over the rest of the pocket. So now we're actually creating that pocket piece. And I am lining up the very top of the pocket with the pants and the side of the pocket with the pants so that everything is sitting flat and symmetrical. And then I am pinning along the bottom of this pocket piece and sewing it together. Once you have sewn the bottom of that pocket piece, go ahead and finish that seam off. I have a serger, so that's what I'm using, but you can just use pinking shears or a zigzag stitch or any other way that you like to finish off your raw edge. And then we are going to go and finish this pocket by attaching and sewing together the top of the pocket to our pant piece and then the side of the pocket to our pant piece. So again, make sure that everything is laying as flat as possible and that nothing is warped. And you can kind of now see what it's going to look like. It's one of those pockets where you can like see it and it's curved. I don't know. I really like these pockets. It adds a touch of like je ne sais quoi. And then I am sewing along just to attach that. And also at this point, I did make sure to do a really good secure back stitch where my pocket begins and ends, just to make sure that everything is nice and secure and nothing will be ripping out in the future. And then moving on to our back pockets, I am taking my back pocket pieces, this little like curved square, and I am sewing a long basting stitch along the bottom so that I can help get those corners to actually curve easier. Because those corners are curved, that's why I am doing that, to kind of like help eliminate that fabric and help it go smoother. But I am folding in all of the edges about 1/4 of an inch, and then you can see I'm kind of like maneuvering that string a little bit just so that it looks nice and even and everything is sitting as flat as possible. Also, just to note, before you do this, please go take care of those raw edges. I just remembered after this, so I went and serged everything and then went and did all these steps again. But make sure your raw edges are taken care of, and then you can fold down the top of this pocket twice. It's important that you fold it under twice and do a double folded hem, and don't just fold it under once. It will help things look a lot better and cleaner in the end. But you can just secure that with a top stitch, and then we are ready to connect that back pocket to our back piece of our pants. So it is ultimately up to you where you want to place these pockets, but I just went off of what the pattern suggested. It had little spots to tell me where to place it, so I just followed that. I pinned it nice and flat to that back piece, and then I just did a top stitch all the way around, again making sure to keep my seam allowance as small as possible. And you can see it looks actually really good. It looks very professional in my opinion. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And once you are done with all of your pockets, we can move on to actually put the pants together. So I put my front pant piece to my back pant piece. I am pinning along the inner seam and then just sewing along that inner seam. Once I have done that, I am serging that. Again, it's really important to finish off all of your raw edges as you go, because it is really hard to finish off these raw edges at the very end. So it's a lot easier if you can just do it step by step. So once you've done that for all of your pant pieces, we're going to nest our pant pieces together at that center seam crotch area. Make sure that is all nice and straight, because you don't want to be like sitting crossing your legs and your seams not line up. So make sure that those are nested well, that everything is pinned together and lined up, and then you can just sew those pant pieces together. After that, we are on the final step of putting our actual pant legs together, and so I am pinning together the front and the back side seams of each pant leg. So again, just make sure that everything is sitting nice and flat. And at this point, I am also back stitching where my pockets are, again, just to keep them as secure as possible, and then continuing and going all the way down. And also, like I said before, just finishing that off with a quick serge. And then we can move on to our waistband. So for our waistband, I am sewing the ends together, right sides together, but I am leaving about an inch or two of a gap towards the top of my waistband, just so that it's easier for when I go to put my elastic in. So you can iron that seam allowance open, and then we are going to fold our waistband in half, wrong sides together. Once you have folded it all the way around, it's time to attach the waistband to your pants. So make sure that seam where you connected that rectangle together to make it a circle, make sure that that seam is lined up with your back seam. You don't want that to be like crooked or on the front or anything. So make sure that that's on the back, and then you can just do your normal seam allowance all the way around, attaching the waistband to the pants. Once you have done that, again, we are going to finish off all of those raw edges. After that, we are going to make the casing for our elastic. So this waistband is a little bit special in the fact that we are putting in 2 pieces of elastic in it, one at the top of the waistband and one at the bottom. So we need to separate the elastic by a seam. So here I am just making sure that I'm going and keeping the same measurement and then sewing halfway all the way around and making sure that everything is even so that when I go to put my elastic in, I am able to actually fit that elastic in at the top and the bottom. This was a little bit tricky for me. Just a good tip or rule of thumb is to put a safety pin on the tip of your elastic, and that will help you have something to kind of grip as you go around. But I put both of my elastics in at the same time, and it took a little bit of time, but I eventually made it. And then once I finished getting it in and I liked the fit, I just went ahead and sewed my 2 pieces of elastic together using a little box and then cross. And then just to help my elastic stay in place and not flip, I am just sewing all of it down together on my side seams and at the back. Again, just to make sure that my elastic isn't flipping when I wear it or wash it. And then we are finally on the very last step, which is to hem our pants. So make sure that you like the length, but make sure you leave at least 1 to 2 inches so that we can fold it up and do a nice double folded hem. So I folded mine up, I think about a 1/2 inch once, and then folded it up another 1/2 inch. So it was a total of 1 extra inch of length. And then I just again did a top stitch over that to make sure that it was all nice and secured. Once that is complete, my pants are done and my mission is complete. I finally found pants that are more comfortable than jeans, but look nicer and honestly are more comfortable than leggings. So I freaking love these pants. I definitely want to make like 10 more because they're just amazing. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.